Welcome back. My name is Martha Howe. We are going to do some bar and toning today. I have planned about 30 minutes. What you need is your mat, a chair for stabilizing to act as your bar, your weights. I have just 2 bottles of liquid. If you have real weights, great. And then I am going to be putting my socks on here when we get to some of our bar movement. If you have a different floor than a wood floor, you might not need that, but I prefer having socks, or maybe you have slippers, you want to wear those. Fantastic. I'm going to start in a parallel position, facing to the side so you can see me from the side. Circle the arms up toward the sky. Open that chest up. See the space above you. Think of rooting the heels down into the floor as you're lengthening in opposition toward that ceiling through the crown of the head. We're going to roll down through the spine, releasing that weight of the body over, softly bending into the knees as we release over. Remember, this is your warm-up. Bend into the knees and stretch the legs straight. Start to connect in with your breath as you continue to bend and extend. Feel the release through the upper body, including that shaking of the head to release any tension through the neck. We're going to bend into this next one. Walk the hands out to our plank. Hold that plank position. Finding that plank position. Remember, if that's a lot, always feel free to lower down to the knees here. And we're going to keep that position and shift forward and back a little bit. So you're going to feel more articulation through the feet and ankles here, as well as just a little bit of movement across the shoulder joint. Draw up through the abdominals, feel the engagement of the abs. You'll notice I'm not sinking my hips down. You want to lift just a little bit to protect through your spine and your low back. You're going to lower the knees down, pull the hips back, and do a nice beginning child's pose. Here, noticing the stretch across the shoulders, that release through the spine. Coming forward, we'll take an all fours position. Shoulders are right over the wrists, hips are over the knees. We're going to round into the spine, release the head down, feeling that arching nature through the whole of the back. And then lengthen the spine and go the opposite direction. Stretching out, feeling the front of the body get a stretch while the head and the tail reach toward the ceiling. Repeat that. As you do it this next time, think of moving just from the tailbone through that low back, middle back, upper back, and then releasing the head down. Then start again from the tailbone. That starts to go through that low, the middle, upper, and then the head. We're going to do that one more time, but this time start with the head releasing. Then the spine starts to follow. And the last thing to go is your tailbone. And then the head takes you up, that spine releases, and we're going to go all the way into our extension. Just working on some initiation points through the body. Come back to your neutral, and let's do just a few bouncing exercises. You'll extend one leg long behind you and reach the opposite arm in front of you. Feeling the core stability as well as that lengthening through the body here. And return that down. And then other side. Again, finding that connection. Roll the shoulders back and bring it in. We want to keep our scapula, our shoulder blades sliding down the back so they're not up in the ears. And we're going to push that floor away so that we're feeling that activation through the muscles of our back. All right, so you should have done that at least twice each side. We'll take that out again, hold. Now we're going to bend our elbow and our knee. They're going to go the knee pulls toward the elbow of the arm that's down, and then the elbow that's up kind of pulls to the waistline, and then stretch that back out. So try to keep them lifted. Breathe it in and out. 3 more. 2 more. 1 more time. And then lower down, and we'll try that on the other side, finding the length, relaxing through that neck, then trying to keep that lift through the leg and the arm. Breathing it in, breathing it out. Feeling the core stability, trying to prevent from wobbling. We have 2, and one more time. And lower that down, pull back to your child's pose, relax through that. If you need to, take a moment and kind of roll out through those wrists if they're feeling any tension. And here, we're gonna roll ourselves up. We're gonna take a few ab exercises and then we'll move into a standing series. So coming onto our back for these abs, making sure that you keep an imprinted position through that lower back and bringing your legs to your tabletop. I'm going to take my hands behind my head, and this is optional as you're flexing forward to have the support of your hands. Now you might not need that, so you can start doing these forward flexion, little mini crunches, so to speak, without the hands. Now as you continue, we're going to lower the legs down. Now when we lift up, we lift our upper body up, and then we lower the legs down, and we lift. Breathe it in, breathe it out. Now that might feel like it's a lot on your low back, so you can switch to a single leg, lowering and lifting. So both are options. If you want more challenge, then when you're lowering down, lower and tap the heels down and lift it up. Heels tap down and lift. Now I'm trying to keep that 90-degree bend through the knees throughout, so make sure it's not that you're dropping from the knees, but that you're dropping from the hips as you go. We'll do just a couple more. Breathing with it. One more time. Go ahead and extend those legs up to whatever feels comfortable. Feel free to put a soft bend in the knees. And we're going to reach across the body for some long, rotated reaches. Exhale as you're coming up. Breathe it in on the way down. If you're wanting more from this exercise, grab one of your weights and you can add that weight to the movement. We have one more like this. So we're doing about 10. Then we're going to hold here. We're going to pulse for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then switching to the other side. So those legs can be straight or they can be bent. Breathe out. Breathe in. We have 5 more, 4 more, 3, 2, and we hold here, we pulse it out for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and bring that in. Hug those knees into your chest, gently rock side to side. Should be feeling some good warmth through the body right about now. I'm going to come to a standing position. We're going to get a little bit more warmth through the legs and add our arms into the workout. So feel free to grab your weights here and find an externally rotated position. This is your second position, right? So as you bend into those knees, you're going to watch that those knees track in alignment with the toes here. That's super important. We want to protect our knees. We want to feel that stretch to the inside of the thigh. We're going to have our knees hopefully our entire lives, and keeping that alignment is going to be imperative to keeping those knees. So this first exercise, we're extending those arms out high V as we bend into the knees. Now, you might have a different rotation than your next door neighbor, than me, then your spouse, your friend, whoever, everybody's gonna have a different rotation through their hips. And it just has to do sometimes with our muscular structure, but also a lot of times it has to do with the bony structure of the hips and the thigh bone inside of the hip. So don't worry if yours doesn't look the same as somebody else's. You gotta respect what your body has and then work with it from there. So if as you're opening those legs into your rotation, you have a really narrow V, like it's not very wide, no big deal, work from there. You might turn your toes in a little bit so that you support that action. If you have a lot of range, that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to go to it. You want to find a place where your hips comfortably rotate. Good. We're going to bend into those knees, and then as we stretch the legs straight, we're going to point through one foot and reach all the way over into that side body. Then we're going to go the opposite direction. Breathe with it. Filling the lungs, expanding and contracting, filling up with air and sending it all the way up. That's going to help us get into our deepest abdominal muscles. We have these muscles at the base of our pelvis. They're called the pelvic floor muscles. We want to activate through those muscles. Our muscles go basically from our pubic bone all the way up to our chest. So really think about your abs not as being centered just at your belly button, but the whole front of your body. We'll go one more time each side. Good. Now find your plie. Extend those arms out. And we're going to keep our plie as we do a few bicep curls. Should be feeling some increase in the heart rate after doing all those plies. Remember that you want to stay tall through the spine here, so you're really upright and you're not dropping forward for this part. Good. Now we're going to punch across, so we're getting a rotation through the upper body, but our lower body stays still. You should feel some oblique activation. Those are the muscles that kind of help us with our rotation through the front of the body. We also have muscles at the back of the body that are helping with that rotation. We're going to stay to one side, punch it up and below. Now I hope you guys have some music playing in the background or something to get you a little bit more inspired. I always think music kind of helps me when things start to get a little bit tiring or exhausting. You gotta put that right song on. Breathe it out. We're gonna switch to the other side. Up and down. We're still rotating into it. Try to keep that opposite knee so that it's still pointing out and not starting to turn in. A few more. Last one. Good. We're going to go overhead here. Get deep into your plie. Bend it and extend through those arms. It's a little tricep press. See if you can hold that bend through the legs. We have 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to pulse, press and pulse. 9, 8, 7. Get deep. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Stretch that straight. Release those arms down. Feel free to shake out through the legs a little bit if you're feeling that. I'm going to move my mat just out of the way so that I have space for my feet to slide a little. And here I'm going to add my socks. So if you're having socks, if you're joining me for that, grab yours. Grab a drink if you need it. Set your chair up. I'm going to pull mine over a little. And we're gonna start in a parallel. So that means our feet are making kind of like an equal sign beneath us. We can add our arms, we're gonna take a plie, lift our heels, stretch the legs straight, and lower. Now if you lose the top of my head here in the video, no harm, no foul. You mostly need to be focusing on your feet. Breathe it in. That was 3, we're gonna do 2 more. This is just a good warm-up movement for the feet. Reverse your direction, taking it up. We rise through it. Plie, heels, and lengthen. Zip up through the abs. Find that bend. Lower the heels and lengthen. 3 more. 2. And 1. Good. Lovely. Now here we're going to rise up, find our plie, and go into some pulses. Little pulse. We're trying to keep those knees over the toes here. You can play with where your arm is. You could even add a weight to this if you're looking for more challenge. We have 3, 2, 1. Now hold here. You're going to lower the heels and lift the heels. Now notice my head is not bobbing up and down, maybe a little bit, but we want to keep it so that we're basically in the same position through that upper body. It's just the heels that lift and lower here. We have 4 and 3, 2. Lift and hold. Now we're going to open and close our knees. A little open and close. Again, the abs remain consistently activated. Should feel some good warmth generated through the thighs. 3, 2, 1. We're going to go for another round of pulsing for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Stretch those legs up straight and lower it down. Shake it out if you need to. I like to do a little rotation through the ankle joint. Good, and just for sake of variety, and because we're gonna stay here, and if you're doing a weight, you wanna be balanced, we're gonna rotate this time. So we're now in our external rotation. So that rotation comes right from the hips, and we're gonna repeat that same series. We bend, heels rise, legs lengthen and lower. Plie and heels and lengthen and lower. Keep thinking of reaching that head high toward the sky, even though you're lowering down, so that you're imagining your body really elongating. 1 more round. Then we're going to reverse it. We rise up, plie, heels down, and lengthen. Take it up, plie, heels down. You can push that plie a little bit. How deep can you take that plie? Remember to protect your knees. This is 2. Good. 1 more time. Keep the shoulders sliding down. We're going to rise up, stay lifted, find our pulses for 10, 9, 8. You can even play with the arms moving during this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold here. We lower and lift. Maybe the weight is in your hand and you're lowering and lifting. Abs remain strong. We have 5 and 4 and 3. Try not to come out of this. Keep that so that you're feeling that depth of your plie. Hold. Now the knees are going to open and close, open and close. If you have your weight, you can move that arm with the knees. We have 4 more. Fill those quads. 3, 2. Hold it here. We pulse it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Let it shake. 2 and 1. Stretch it up. And lower it down. Feel free to shake out those feet and toes a little bit here. Put that weight down. Set yourself. I'm going to come back to the other side here. And we're going to stay in our first position. So heels together, toes apart, feeling that rotation from the hips, zipping the abs up. So we're careful that our back is not, bum's not sticking out or drawing that in and up. It's a very small shift. I don't like to call it a pelvic tuck because I feel like a lot of people kind of force that. Think of your low back as lengthening and your pubic bone just drawing forwards just ever so slightly so that you're feeling that core stability through the front of the body. Again, if you want to have weights, grab a weight here. We're going to start with a tendu back. So our foot remains on the floor. We bring it forward and we do a little swing forward. So we take that tendu back and this is a little dégagé forward. Tendu, dégagé. Our goal here is to really feel our feet pushing across the floor. That's going to help us build that strength across our feet and ankles. We have 4 and 3, 2 and 1. We're going to hold that. I'm going to rotate just slightly so that you can see this. I'm going to bend both of my knees and bring my foot so that it's kind of coming right to my ankle. So a little coupe and extend. Coupe, watch the hips, try not to sink into the one, and extend. Breathe it in, breathe it out. We're trying to maintain rotation through our hips. Now if you'd like a little bit more, you're ready for a little bit more, out of this coupe, extend and lift through the heel of your standing leg. Breathe it out. 3, my ankles and feet are popping. 2, good, now one more time. Here, we're holding this. I have my heel of my standing leg lifted, but you can also lower it down. Bend into your knee of your moving leg, and then a little pulse lift. 10, 9, 8, 7. Remember, you can do this up on your heel. Whew, I'm going to fall over. 3, 2, 1, and release that down. Take a moment, stretch that leg back. You might have been feeling that in the hip flexor a little bit, so feel free to stretch that leg straight and kind of lift up and feel that stretch opening into your psoas. Oh yeah. Now before we go to our other side, we're going to take a nice wide second position, and we're going to come up into our releve, right? So that means that our legs, our feet are super close together as we come up. We're going to plie. Now I'm going to cross my leg behind. So we're taking that out, stretch it out, and pull that in. Plie and rise up. Pull that together. Feel the mobility through the ankle joints. How are we feeling? Hope we're good. We have 4 more. 3. We're going to stay for this next one. Hold it here. Take a bounce. As you're bouncing, just kind of see the space. Circle those arms in front of you. Circle yourself around so that you're now ready to do the other side. And then just rotate back to face towards you. So we come back to our first position. We're rotated in those hips. We're doing our tendu back and a little dégagé swing forward. Breathe that out. Breathe in. We want to stay relaxed and easy across the front of the body. There's a little bit of motion, so we're not stiff here. And then think of zipping up, pulling up tight through that standing leg so that you're not sinking or moving across your hips. We have 3 and 2 and 1. Now we're going to take this next one out, hold there. Remember, this is the one where we do our little coupe, so the ankles kind of come together, and then we extend that leg out straight. A little fondue, so the standing leg bends, and then we extend that back out. Breathe it in, breathe it out. Whew. Fall over there. Now that bar there, we're trying not to death grip it, right? it's there. Maybe you have a finger or two when we're just sort of resting that arm so that we have our own balance and we can kind of test it. We have 2 more. Oh, I forgot to add that rise. Shoot. There should have been about 5 of each. So do a couple extra, or if you were already doing it, awesome. Then we're gonna go into our attitude. So that's that soft bend in the knee. We're still rotated and we pulse. Now remember, you can also be up on the heel of your standing leg. Sorry, out of the heel of the standing leg. We have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release that down. Let's take a moment and hold. We didn't do this on the other side, but just kind of release and lengthen before we lower down. Step that leg back and just doing a little bit of a stretch into the psoas, the hip flexor, if you need it. And then we'll come back to that first position. We're gonna step out to that second position and rise all the way up. Drag that foot in, point and release, and then drag that in. Breathe it in, breathe it out. Hope everyone's feeling good in the bodies. We have 4 and 3. 2 more. Last one, hold it here. If you'd like to, spin it around. Shake it out. I'm gonna reset my chair. How are we feeling, everyone? Pulling my mat back. We're gonna do just a little stretching cool down. Feel free to match this exercise series with any of the others that I've done. That way you're getting your full lengthening. We're gonna bend into those knees, reach the arms up, plie back down, bend and reach. 2 more, lengthen through the body. 1 more. Roll down through the spine so the hands are coming toward the floor. Shake that head now. I'm going to turn just to the side. So we're just stretching out across the back of the leg here. Letting it all release. Should have been a nice warm up for you. Feel free to add on a Pilates mat exercise series or another one of those bar series. Just gently shifting side to side. If you have a lot of range, you might go deeper into that stretch and stay there for a minute. All right, last stretch here. I hope to see you again soon here at the mat, at the bar, and keep on taking care of yourself wherever you are, whatever you're doing. I hope you are well. And I will see you again soon. Thanks for joining me, friends.